scheduled and all that stuff for their live streams. I think they're using their computers. I don't think the mobile app allows me to do that kind of stuff. But once you are on your laptop or your desktop, you can set the premieres and the times and all that stuff. So I've been having this thought for a couple of days, but it's so, make sure to say hello too. I see a couple of you are here. I've had this thought for a couple of days, but it's been stewing in my mind, and we've been so busy here. Hey, Hunter Kirk, shalom. And Betsy Ross is pissed off. I love that channel name. Oh my gosh, I finally caught one. Yay! What a great channel name. And K.O. Ray, good morning. It's actually like good noontime. I got up late again, even though I didn't stay up late. I was not happy about that because I wanted more time to do stuff today, but hello, beautiful people. CKOC. Let me show you my advance party. Everybody's down there getting, two of the dogs live on the property but are not mine, and two of them are mine, and they all know each other, and yet every day there's this whole thing. Lamp Keeper was catching up on Viking Preparedness Channel and saw you. Come on. Yay! Yeah, I was saying, I think if I did laptop notices first, there's more options on the laptop for when you're going to do a video of things like set it as a premiere and all that. I think I could probably do that, but I'm so spontaneous. I'm so like, I don't always feel like doing a video, and I don't always have time to set a time for a video. That I'm still doing them kind of off the cuff like this. Hey, Evelyn Vincent, hello. If some of you show up today and you're a moderator, I figured out how to make you moderators from the phone, and I can't do it in a live stream. I've been trying, but when I went back and watched a live stream and watched the live chat, I was able to make moderators. So a couple of you have been blessed as moderators who were on the particular chat I watched, and I could access you. So if you've got the wrench, congratulations. Da, 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 da. You are now a moderator. And what I'm looking for, moderators, in the chat is conspiracy theorists who continuously are pushing one thought, especially if I've addressed it and said, I don't agree or whatever, and they just keep pushing it. Anyone who is saying lewd or sexual innuendo kind of things, or just making really silly comments, just trying to disrupt it. Just tap your name on them and put them in, or tap your finger on them and put them in timeout. Oh. Yeah, I better feed the ducks. It's kind of late, so I'll talk and walk. And I'm sorry if it's shaky, but my selfie stick is 3-spoked, and one of the spokes is broken, so it's a little bit shaky. Lamp Keeper, you're probably going to get one, though. I just want to warn you, unless you really don't want one. I think you're in enough chats that you'd be able to help me out in keeping people in line. Let's see. I'm in Southern Kentucky. Panic buying starting in my area. Yeah, that's a good question that Evelyn asked. What are they buying? What is the panic buy? Is it toilet paper? Is it milk? Is it meat? Is it everything? I wanted to address that in today's live stream, because Pastor quoted something yesterday to me about the head of BlackRock. I forget what that guy's name is, but he made a speech somewhere at a conference or a meeting or something yesterday or the day before, where he said, "Get ready, privileged Americans. Hard times are coming. You're spoiled. Home ownership and everything that you're used to is going away." And I thought, first thing I thought about that guy, because they kept mentioning it, he has $10 trillion in assets. Not million, not billion, trillion. Who is the privileged American here? Who is the hypocrite, the two-faced person who's trying to say people like you and me are super privileged. I don't know who he's talking about, but he ain't talking about me, because my parents grew up as poor as any parents grow up. My mom had us go to the side of the road and pick up bottles and turn them in for the 5 cents you got to buy milk for our families. Hey, don't eat that. That's paper. No, cut it out. Sorry for the noise, y'all. I'll get them fed and then they'll quiet down. All right, so I'm inside my little shed, and I've got 2 pallets in here now. So today, if I get my other chores done, I'll be down here working on this shelter. Oh my gosh, they're so loud. I'm sorry they're loud. I should show them to you. I'm sorry. They were so loud. Let's get them fed. That's my morning chores. Everything on the farm, basically, used to be only me. Now it's me and Pastor are waiting for breakfast. Now I'm making you sick because I'm rotating. Woo! Kind of like to be on a roller coaster ride. All right, so I got that done. But yeah, I don't know who this BlackRock guy, Tim, Theo, something, I forget his name. That guy, he is completely full of it, and it's obvious propaganda. If he owns 10 trillion in assets, and he's telling us we're privileged Americans, he's an American, and we're not going to own anything, he's trying to derail us, just like Pelosi, and just like Joe Biden. It's like, let your yays be yays and your nays be nay. Well, their yays are not, they don't follow that. Their yays are nay. They are yes when it's no and no when it's yes. Because you don't own 10 trillion in assets and then call me a privileged American. Get out of here. And I'm not a dumb American either. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, I should feel guilty. I should feel guilty about what my husband has worked so hard all his adult life for him and I to be able to enjoy. And I know he's built a business from scratch. He spent 20 years in the military. He spent 7 years in government service after he retired, and 15 years as a pastor. We have given to the community. We have given to the public. We have served and served and served. So I'm not some privileged American. I'm an American who thought about other people and did good for them. And what is this yahoo? Right? Does anybody else get this? Does anybody else understand what I'm trying to say here? He's bought up everybody else's property and then said, I'm not going to allow anybody else to own this property. I'm just going to take your property and make you pay for it. Pay me for it. Hey, Scotty John. Hey, Gardner 67. I think I blessed you too. You're a moderator now. I finally figured out how to do that. Hello and shalom. Not seeing any panic buying yet. I know it's coming though, says Susan Bryant. Baking goods. Baking goods are disappearing. Sugar, rice and beans, cheese, and paper towels. And let me tell you something, folks. Larry Fink. There you go. Larry Fink. Larry Fink, that's an app name. He's a Fink. He's just a flat out, I won't even say liar, because he said it. He said straight out, I'm going to make y'all suffer. He's a psychopath. He's full of garbage. His name is Larry Fink. Okay. Me too. Milk is almost $6 a gallon in my area. That is crazy. Found out today I actually qualify for food stamps. I guess it gets bad enough I can eat paper like your ducks. Hey, I have a thought on that too, y'all. And some of you, this may go against your upbringing and your training and whatever your parents told you. But When they make this system crazy like that, go on food stamps. If you qualify, get on there, girl, because your tax money is help paying for those food stamps. Okay? If you do anything, if you make any income at all, your tax money is help paying for those food stamps. So get on it. Help drag this rotten system down to the ground. Grace Acres. Shalom. There's Oregon Berry from Oregon. Oregon Berry, I don't have any more news on the piano because we're at a stalemate. Pastor wants me to buy another one, a younger one that's easier to tune, and I'm sticking to my guns about getting it, the one I have, fixed. And he doesn't want to talk about it right now, so I have to just not push the issue, but I am still on board for it. And that money will stay in an account waiting for a decision. So don't think I'm going to go out and party with that or buy myself a new dress. I'm serious about that piano. Constitutional homestead, shalom. Matt Habir, exactly. Get what you can out of Uncle Sugar while you can. I've seen the same thing happen with the CEO of a company that it worked for. He stated he grew up eating eggs all the time because they were poor, right? I was just thinking about doing the food stamp thing. Couldn't decide one way or the other. Now I'm tilted to yes. Do it choice. Do it. I look at it this way. I've got a daughter who's on a program like that, and she has a job, doesn't pay a lot, but she's been working since she was 16 years old. She's paid into the system. I really feel fine about my tax money feeding my daughter. You can go party in a new dress with a piano. Well, there you go. I did early Social Security too. That was my money I paid for in years. Waited to get some of it back at least. Exactly right. And they keep pushing the date and pushing the date. You used to be able to get your Social Security, I think, when you were 55. And they pushed it to 62. And for some people, it's 65. And then they're pushing it to 70 something for other people. Well, not everybody lives to 70. So you pay into this, socialist system your whole life, and then you get nothing out of it. No, that's not the American way. That's not the economic capitalism we set up. The capitalism we set up says, and it's kind of biblical, says you get paid for your hard work in your lifetime. That's why in America, the best way to make money is to start a business and have that business be successful. That is the best way for you to get money. And we didn't go that way, not at first. We were, socially minded, and so we went into government service, which is basically serving the public, serving the country for a long time. And that is or used to be, a pretty reliable source of income. That it used to have pretty good benefits, and so we went that route. But people who were out in the public doing their own thing, like being lawyers and accountants and whatever, were making way more money than us. Gardner 67, our money paid him for 32 years. That's right. So if you are able to be on the dole, as they call it in England, if you can get onto a program, if you qualify for it, get on it. Get on it. Get on your state-sponsored health care. If you can't get health insurance any other way, then you take advantage of what you've been paying for. That's how I look for it. So Larry Fink is a Fink, and he's scamming the American public. For him to say privileged Americans are going to suffer, then this is what I say in response to Larry Fink. You first. You first, Larry Fink. And privileged Americans are going to suffer. You get at the head of the line, right? He's a rat, Fink. Thanks for doing this at lunchtime. Westfield Forge, it's purely by accident and me getting up late, making us breakfast. And, oh man, their pond was full yesterday, and now it's almost empty. I'm going to start taking that plastic out of there, because this little pond over here was made at the same time by accident, and it's holding water. And I've put 3 layers of plastic in the one that I dug behind me. Where is it? Right there. 3 layers of plastic to keep the water in. Am I showing it to you? No, that's not it. Where is it? That. 3 layers of plastic in there, and it's got almost no water in it. So I'm going to take that plastic out because it's ugly, and the ducks will seal the bottom of it themselves. But yeah, Westhold, it's purely by accident that I'm on at lunchtime because I got up late and then I made breakfast. Next month, I'm eligible. I'm getting my Social Security I work for. It's mine. Good, Phoebe. Good. I second the lunch break from building more raised bed. The speech was in Austin. The guillotine can't come too soon. Now, I'm not willing to say that, Matt Habir, but I certainly understand your reference, and I certainly had that thought in my mind. It reminded me of Let Them Eat Cake from the French Revolution. But I know how the Father works, and the Father has his revenge in his own way. And sometimes it takes a long time. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Sometimes it's not immediate. But that guy is a fake. And I think there are ways to make that reality not happen for him. Because the people he rents to, he could be very draconian about that. He could charge a lot of money. Even though they have more money than us, will starve first. Real Americans know hundreds of ways to eat noodles. Meshuggah farm, people selling eggs have popped up everywhere. Well, this is the American version of, you push me, I get more self-reliant. That's one way. But rental properties, people who are unhappy with rental properties, and I've seen this in my area. Let me reverse that back just a little bit. When you're in the military, like we were, when you leave quarters, and quarters is the government housing that's on a base, and if you're put into them, then you don't really have a choice. I don't think if they tell you you're going to stay in them, you don't get to say no, I don't want to. If they say, do you want them, or you don't, then you get a choice, because there's money paid to you if you're not going to live in the quarters. Like if you go to a base and there's not enough housing on the base, they give you money to get housing off the base. But when you leave government quarters, there's a whole list. It's like 3 pages long of everything that has to be clean. And it's got to be clean like the white glove thing where they run their finger along stuff. And if there's any dirt, that's how clean they have to be. And so every time we cleared quarters, which meant you were leaving and going to your next post, that inspection came. And if you didn't pass, you had to keep cleaning until you passed. And usually there was a time thing involved, because you only get so much leave time, break time, before you have to be at the next post. And if your husband doesn't show up, he gets in trouble. He can go to the military jail. He can have, all sorts of things happen to him. So it's kind of strict. And so the first time we got out and we were in quarters for regular people, and we do our military style clean and we're ready to go, the real estate agent remarked on it. Ingles Supermarket has had thin spaghetti for 88 cents a pound. That is cheap. That is worth it. The first time we had to leave a non-military place, and I forget which house we rented or whatever, and we cleaned it like we do, she commented on it. She commented on how it's good to have military people renting a place because they leave it so clean, because civilians don't always do that. Non-military don't always clean their rental the same way. And so I thought about that. Well, then we moved here, and there's people who run businesses of just cleaning up after rental people. I work in housing and no one ever cleans. They usually don't even take all their stuff. Westhold Forge, boom. Witness. There it is. People around here, if they don't like who they're renting from, they just trash the house. And we know people who clean those houses after those people leave. And what Westhold Forge said is right. Hey, Soapy Acres. Local markets and flea markets too. Exactly right. Thrift stores too. And those discount stores, the big lots and things like that. Good place to shop. Anyway, back to the point I'm trying to make. the renters around here trash the house. They trash it. They leave garbage everywhere. The walls are filthy and graffitied. My friend has said it's just smelled so bad, like they don't house train their pets. They leave food spoiled in the refrigerator. They leave food spoiled in the sink and in the dishwasher. Just awful, awful, awful condition. So if you're unhappy with the person you're renting from, when you do that, it costs them money. They're not making as much money on that property if they have to do a big clean afterwards. It's hundreds of dollars and then more hundreds to paint and hundreds to replace the carpet and so on and so on. And that's kind of my point about Larry Fink and his rentals for everybody. And I don't want anybody to be able to own their own house. People around here, if they're not happy with the rental, they don't treat that rental very good. So I'm just saying, like Americans, we're stubborn and we want to be self-sufficient. We don't come from the kind of stock who ran away from somebody else and got whooped. We're the kind of stock who knew we had rights. When those were infringed upon, we turned around and fought back and beat their butt and formed our own country. So that's who we come from. And I'm just saying, Larry Fink, you stink. Complaints of being sold eggs with green and black stuff. Ooh, you got to check the eggs. If you get eggs from anyone fresh, you always crack them into another bowl first because they could be old and have gotten bad. I know I put for 3 people in the system, years of working 80-hour weeks as a nurse. Yeah. Grace Acres. Live traps were great for predators. I've had lots of them too. Had to double down fencing, get your critters in early. Yes, all of that is true. And live traps do work, especially if you bait them with something that these things are going for anyway. Like if they're trying to kill your chickens, get some chicken and bait it with chicken. Okay. I've noticed that military left the rental homes clean when I lived near Fort Bragg. Civilians leave the place a mess. Exactly. It is snowing, guys. I thought this was pollen. It's snowing. It's snowing behind me. Shalom, everyone. Time to fix a roof leak. All right, Constitutional, be safe. Falling is one of the big traumas in American emergency medicine, is people falling. So be careful. I have a great product and don't want to be part of a seller group known for low quality. There you go. We get our eggs from our neighbor and she writes the date on each egg when she gets them. Oh, that would be tattling for me, Westhold. I'm terrible about it, but I'm not selling them. Some people are just slobs. I clean a laundromat, and I tell you, some of the people trash the place. Can only imagine what their homes look like. We are having trouble with gas thieves. Hit twice in 2 weeks. Neighbors on West Hill been hit once. I'm getting some trail cams tomorrow. We know who it is, and we're looking for proof. Well, there's an idea. You can also get a locking cap. I'm looking for a stamp to put on each one. Late. We had renters who were awful, ruined homes because we charged for live-in girlfriends. That's my point, Edwin. Larry Fink said that we're privileged Americans and it's about to become hard times. He owns 10 trillion, BlackRock owns $10 trillion in assets, and he wants to rent to everybody. He doesn't want anyone to be able to own a home. And I'm just saying, you make renters unhappy and they trash the rental. Hey, Aid, I was just talking about you. I was talking about we are supposed to be suffering hard times here. Has that made your news over there? That BlackRock, the owner of BlackRock, said it's time to punish us privileged Americans. What do you have to say about that, Aid? So the other person, the second witness to that, is Joe Biden, our own president, our own commander-in-chief, saying food shortages are coming. Well, way to bolster up national confidence, Joe. Way to work what you can work to make it Americans be able to get food. You know, what is your administration doing to deal with these shortages? Are you helping our farmers make better farms? Are you helping our ranchers have more productive ranches? Or are you taxing the crap out of everybody and making it harder and harder? Aid says, I went shopping today and I got everything I needed. Well, what did you see in Texas, Aid? Did you see privileged Americans taking advantage of everybody else? So yeah, we got two witnesses as to these hard times coming. Now, of course, all of the prepper channels and the survival channels and all that have been saying there's going to be shortages for years based on bits and pieces of news that we get about, you know, beef production and the chicken butchering places closing down. Not in the area I was in. That's right. Aid was in a part of the country where there's not privileged Americans living high on the hog. Real Americans trying to make a, scrape by. So yeah, that's what the administration is supposed to be doing. That's what our government is supposed to be doing for us. Is not telling us we suck and punishing us for stuff. It is for our government to make it easier for us to be productive, not for Larry Fink to be productive, not easier for him to buy up properties and then withhold ownership to anyone else and charge rent for everybody. No, it's for our government to say, all right, farmers, we've been, keeping your prices artificially low for years. Let's free market it and let people who produce food get paid for their work. I've been reading about a huge solar flare hitting Earth this summer, could knock out cells and power, went through it in 2012. I'm not as worried about that. I'm more worried about these shortages that people are going to be making happen that makes regular folks suffer. So we just had a tribe food packing party and put a lot of long-term food. So we started off with just putting in $5 a head. This is a great idea, by the way, y'all. Pay attention to what Westhold Forge is saying right here. We started off with just putting in $5 a head a month, but now people put in even more, and that doesn't count our own, right? Back when it was $5 a month, not that many people interested, but $5 a month, 10 people, $50 a month, over 3 months, you got $150. You can go out and buy some grain for that. You can go out and get some buckets and things. And us older folks, we need to look into things like that because it's harder for us to produce our own food. It's a lot of work, as we're finding out. I read the article about Fink. Isn't this about the new digital dollar, own nothing? Right, but what if the whole world doesn't run on digital? There are hundreds of thousands of millions of acres in the middle of the country that's agricultural. All of the madness is around all the WEF stuff. There's a lot of fear porn coming from a lot of channels, and I have a choice few I actually listen to now. Well, exactly right. And that's why when we were in COVID, just look at all the stuff that got done during a pandemic. It's absolutely shameful how our government and some of our citizens reacted. Rioting, destroying property, taking over part of a city. The fact that our Congress was running an impeachment when this pandemic started, an impeachment that wasn't going to succeed. They knew it. And they wasted tax dollars and time on that stupid impeachment. I went on Sustainable Stewards channel when there was a beef shortage. Now, the chicken production factory, that was not a hoax. I live in an area where they have them, and they did get hit with COVID really hard, and they had to shut down a lot of their production. But she did a good video. I think it was that live stream I all recommended, or that podcast I recommended, the Neo-Amish guy, where she talks about she saw up in her area where the production people just stopped producing for like 3 weeks, and it caused a price jump. And then after the 3 weeks is over, then they're like, oh yeah, okay, now you can send us your cows. And it caused a hardship because a lot of the dairy farmers, when their dairy cows are no longer productive, go ahead and slaughter them, and that's what your hamburger comes from. It's not these choice young Angus steers. It's these dairy cows who are no longer able to produce in the dairy market. And she did a video on that, and she's the one who has actual agricultural knowledge. She's working in dairies right now, and she's a community-supported farm. Sister Kate, I'm so tired of being called a hoarder for buying extras every time I go to the store. Right, you're not a hoarder. That's just a word that the left created so that people started looking on being smart and putting away food as something negative. That's what saved people's lives in the Depression era. If you hoarded food, you survived. If you lived paycheck to paycheck, or what do you call it? I'm trying to brush the snow off me so I don't get cold and wet. Or if you just, had food for one day and the next day you didn't have any food. Oh, thanks, Wes Holds. Join the channel. Awesome. You're all right, brother. Appreciate that. It's been a long minute since I watched. Awesome topic. Thanks, Lisa. If your family in the Depression didn't produce their own, if they didn't put away food, if they just knew where one meal was coming, a lot of people starved and a lot of people died. I've been meaning to for a while, but I forget. Don't worry about it, brother. I am not holding a stick to anybody's head about that. That's purely on y'all's inspiration. That's not, you're my friend, you know that. People these days go to the store 3 to 5 times a week. I feel like I'm out of place just buying a week's worth. Well, I go in there once every 2 weeks-ish, depending. And I spend a pretty good amount of money, and they know who I am. Because I'm, everyone else is just getting the bits and pieces, and then I've got 2 carts full, and they've got to bag it all, and it's kind of a pain in the rear end for them, and I understand that, so I help bag. I load everything into my cart as soon as they've got it, and if they're backed up, I start packing the bags. But I said, I'm sorry, I know this is a lot, and they said, oh, don't worry about it. There's a family who comes in once a month, and they buy $1,200 worth of groceries when they come, and it's 4 carts full, and so that's my local store. Like, I was like, okay, thank you very much for letting me know that. I'm not the only one. But there's nothing to be ashamed of for being smart and being prepared for a perceived hard time, especially when your president says they're coming. If he says it's coming, don't you think it's the smart and wise choice to try to get ready for that? And here's another thing I want to let you guys in on. You should try to have chickens in your yard if you can. If you are in a city, a lot of cities now have changed their laws to allow 3 or 4 birds, as long as you don't have a rooster. Chickens are the easiest things to take care of, and if you can't afford their food and you have a yard, they'll find enough forage to feed themselves, and they're gonna lay eggs every day, basically, an egg per hen. I can't believe how many times my mom can go shopping. We are 30 miles from a store. Teresa, you are now a moderator. I don't know if you noticed that about yourself, but some of you got blessed while you were sleeping. I finally figured out how to do that. So just, you see anybody sassing Teresa, put your finger on their little window there, and a list of options will come up, and you can put them in timeout. Hey, Lone Star Living, you also have been made a moderator. Yes, sir, for your support of the channel, but also you're in on a lot of live streams. Congratulations. I've known to be sassy, yeah, but not crazy. I'm counting on you all to keep the crazies out. Yes, you're welcome, Teresa. You've been, a long time member of the channel, subscriber, etc. Always positive comments. So, hello, Garen Clackley. Shalom. Y'all got rewarded. I finally figured out how to do that, and I picked out people whose names were in the live stream that I found. I can't do it live here. I can do it in the comments part of these chats, these live streams, once they turn into a video. So there's a whole new crew of you. Yeah. Good on you guys, and thanks for helping out. Appreciate it. Can people tell the difference between bird flu in humans and the new variant being pushed as the new doom? Sure, a blood test would be able to tell that easily. There's Steve Wilson. Thank you for supporting the channel, Steve. Always good to see you. That's right. You guys are in the wrench world. You have powers. Woo! Batman, don't come in here and start getting all... I'm telling you, I just dubbed 4 new moderators. This is not your channel. This is my channel. And you're not going to come on here and play games. Behave yourself. If you have information, just say it. Tell Pastor Joe that we love the video on Arcade and we are looking to go check them out. Lisa, I will do that. And that's for real, folks. This is not a theoretical thing. Well, then state it, Batman. Don't be playing games, man. I'm really tired of that. For roosters, there's a collar that helps them stay quiet enough to live in the cities. Not shocking, just looks like a bit of Velcro. Okay, good information there, none of your biz. You guys pay attention to that. With great power comes great responsibility. And there's Forest Dog. Hello, shalom. Shalom. I'm here watching the chat. Thank you. Lovely Dudley. Very good. Okay, so back to Arkhaven. I just recommended Arkhaven to someone who I was just nominally attached to on Instagram. She's a Torah keeper out in California, and she private messaged me and said, hey, my dad's about to go out there. Is that you, Lisa? That might be you, right? Yeah, I think it is Lisa. And they said, we want to get out of California. We want to find, an area that we can go to with like-minded people. And we said, well, our area is expensive and everyone's got to buy their own place and et cetera, because it's true. But Arkhaven is a lot of land. It's absolutely gorgeous. And not everybody on Arkhaven is a Torah keeper, but there are Torah keepers there. But everyone on Arkhaven believes in Jesus, is a believer in that way. And so we've been there. We've walked around and driven around that property. It is got some beautiful stuff on it. It's very large. So if you want to be near someone, you can build near someone. And if you want to be off on your own, you can be off on your own. I'm not saying it's fully developed. It's not. It's a work in process. But these brothers have gotten this thing together, and it's absolutely, you know what I'm saying? It's absolutely real. You buy your land there, and then they help people build houses, but you can also build your own, and you can drag an RV out there and so on. Was thinking of getting rabbits for dog food, but now thinking of just keeping to my chickens. Forest Dog had this conversation recently, and we have rabbits for dog food, but also think about quail. Quail are little. You can keep them in a rabbit hutch-sized cage. They lay eggs. You can butcher them. They breed pretty regularly. I think you have to incubate the eggs, but buying an incubator online, there are some really easy to use incubators that'll hold, 15, 20 quail eggs, and they hatch out in 3 weeks. Oh man, I'm not subscribed to them anymore, but I can't remember, some huge prep channel where the guy did a series of videos on keeping quail. He had multiple quail cages in his garage, and it's pretty simple, and you could feed the baby quail or the eggs to your pets. So that's another option. And it may not be as difficult as with the rabbits, where you have to tell when they're in heat and put the male with the female and keep them separate the rest of the time and all that. I think quail. And if they get loose, then you have quail on your property. You're pressing your luck. I have low tolerance at the Batman. Yeah, he's got to get... I know he's trying to get truth out, but if you're getting truth out, just get it out. Don't play games about it. The Arkhaven thing reminds me, I was in southern Mississippi a couple of weeks ago and met a couple from Georgia that want to move here, and I showed them to the Arkhaven video. Very good, Wes Holt. And you can, sort of... If they pass your muster... when you send them to Arkhaven, you can say, hey, a follower of Pastor Joe sent me, because Randy likes us. Morning, Kate. Oh, Swamp Donkey Off Grid. I love that channel name, too. Do the drugs kill your babies? FJB. I don't know if I love your channel name. What is that? You're in the Ozarks. Yes, I am. I would love to hear what Batman has to say. No, ma'am, it's not you guys. Okay. Well, her parents were going to go check out Arkhaven, and they were supposed to get back to me and let me know what they think. But Lisa, I'm glad you liked it. You can tell we're not lying about it. And there's Nidaveller Forge and Woodcraft Shalom. She's in Texas. So why do you want to leave Texas, Lisa? Because, Texas has got some good stuff, too. Or has it turned really liberal there? That collar keeps them from stretching their necks out, which they need to do to crow. You can also keep them in a very low roof run, and they can't stretch. Okay, Sarah, that's a good tip right there. Aid loves Texas, and Colleen is in it, North Texas, and even West Texas is kind of desolate, but my brother lives out there, and he loves it. They're making sure that we will experience shortages. They have already stated that their priority is combating climate change, not food production. And climate change is a natural phenomenon, in my opinion. I've done videos on it, and so I'm not... Look at this global warming falling all around me in March. Here's a little global warming for you. Any water source on the lots. They are digging wells all over the place, Lisa, and there is a river there and several streams. You have to talk details with Randy because he's the person sort of in control of all that, but he's also drilling wells. So I know there's water in the area. I don't know how much a well would cost. And you could do rain catchment. I put him in timeout. Hopefully he learns this lesson in the next 300 seconds. If not, someone can ban him. Okay. See, us female moderators and people are a little bit more tolerant, but sometimes dudes can tell when dudes are acting up and they do things like Lone Star Living. So, more power to you guys. That's why I gave you the wrenches. I didn't know how it worked beyond not shocking them. I would worry about a place like Arkhaven, given that I don't know everyone. I worry about a cult feel. So, Mark Gothberg, people, this is a good, you're not wrong to think that way. You absolutely want to look for cult-like whatever. The thing about Arkhaven is there is no one power person who, like Randy controls the land stuff because that's what he's good at. But there's a pastor there. He's an older gentleman. He is the kindest, most gentle person. There is no one overarching guy who is trying to hold everyone's attention, who is trying to get everyone to do, we all must sit together out in the snow and chant. There's no one like that. It's the people who have the property are selling the property. They have done the task of outlaying the money to buy this property to be a haven for Christians. It's Holy Spirit driven, and they're, like I said, they're not particular. You have to have Jesus, and that's it. So if you're a Baptist or a Mennonite or you're a Torah keeper or whatever, they're not discriminating. They're not trying to get you all on board with one idea. So that's why we're like, yeah, we think it's legit. Okay, so let's see. You are allowed to disagree and state what you believe is correct. You are not allowed to bash others and what they're saying. When you come out of time, say what you think that's true. If you think you can't tell a bird flu from a blood test, then say what you can. Is it a coughing thing? Sputum? And have medical backing up. Don't be repeating what, another fearmonger said. Fly high, honeybee farm. Man, fly high, I've got a bee box in my living room. I need to put it together, and I'm just haven't done it yet. A does rock. Yes, Lone Star Living likes Texas. No need to back talk to sister or front talk to me. Came on the channel, first thing you did is tell me I'm wrong. Get out of here. I used a rooster collar on a previous route. It worked sort of, said Forrest Dog. Sarah Hoskins does not being able to stretch her necks. With them, this give them pain. I'm going to guess that would be a no, because you should see what they do to each other. Animals are a lot hardier than we think. One day rooster visits will last a hen right at 3 weeks. I need to see the Arkhaven video. I think it's on Pastor's Patreon channel, Nunya. I'm not sure. He might have done one for YouTube, too, on Viking preparedness. Meshuggah said Arkhaven is awesome. That's right. Anyone else think of selling compost? We have 800 quail. See, Meshuggah Farm has 800 quail. I'm not wrong in saying quail. There's something about quail farming. We have the poop. I think you should try it, Meshuggah. I've often had that idea myself, but we don't have enough animals creating the kind of manure that it's easy to gather in one place. Goats, it's more like rabbit pellets. But if you have that much, put it on Facebook Marketplace or put it in your local Craigslist or something. You may get people coming to get it. Lisa wants more freedom, and she loves the mountains. Well, there are mountains up here in the Ozarks, girl. That sounds like ice. It's snow. It's snow. It's big flakes of snow. I'm a big fan of Texas, says Aid. That's right. Watching that sleet hit you makes me cold. Yeah, my fingers are starting to get cold. Quail are fairly awesome. Quail eggs are higher in all the good stuff that chicken eggs have. So are guinea eggs, but guineas are messy and loud. Folks are getting priced out of North Idaho, skyrocketing rents and prices. Right, Hunter? And we were just talking about that. Yeah. If you don't like the rental and the rents and everything, people around here trash the rental places. Shalom, Hunter Kirk. All right. Batman got a deleted message again. He needs to behave. Calm down, mate. Oh, and Aid ought to know because Aid is or was a bouncer for a while. So he knows when it's time for you to calm down, you got to calm down. Quail makes sense. They would be okay for Torah keepers to eat if you had extra, right? That's what the Lord gave the complaining Israelites after they came out of Egypt. Pretty sure it was quail, all they could eat. So yeah, it's clean. Yep, good job. Sister Kate, are the properties along the New Madrid fault line? Nanya, I don't believe so, but I am not sure. It's a good question to ask. Woo! Shalom, McMikey. Do they have a lot of lots, like 10 to 20 acre lots? Yes, they do. They do. They have, like, I think close to 1,000 acres. They have tons of land out there. That's why I'm saying you can have your place be far away from other people, or you can have yours put near people. And I think they just show you areas and say, you know, what do you think? And you get to kind of choose your location. And there are sweeping vistas. I am not over exaggerating and saying how beautiful that land really is. It's high. It's high land. It's like a plateau. And so it's just gorgeous. Gotta shut down bad behavior, said Dirty Rupert. If God-fearing people are going to be persecuted, then doesn't it defeat the survival instinct by being clustered up? See, KOC? On one hand, yeah, but on the other hand, the biblical thing, they moved together. The Israelites moved together tribe by tribe because there's a lot of strength also in being unified. Support, security, diversity, just all of it. So, and that's what people are feeling like they want to do, because Pastor says in the end, it's going to be believers against non-believers. I don't know if that's true or not, but whatever it is, you are much stronger as a voting bloc. You are much stronger as a people being unified. Almost feed my chickens without commercial feed now. Goal is the winter to be feed free, right? You can, yeah, it's snowing here. Yeah, PJ did do one on Arkhaven. Rabbits can free forage, and rabbits actually do better if they're in the ground. Reap What You Sow channel down in Louisiana has a big colony of rabbits that they've made a special place, and they're all on the ground because they want to burrow. That's their natural instinct. We put them in cages because it's easier to control them. Quail have suicidal tendencies. I don't know about that, Sarah Hoskins, but quail, as far as I know, no longer naturally hatch their own eggs, and so you have to incubate. And you keep them separated. You don't keep them in a big flock. You put like one male and a couple of female. Is snow now normal for your area? It sure can be. You see, though, this makes me a little bit sad because there is blossoms on the trees, and I hope it doesn't kill them. If someone's allergic to chicken eggs, does that mean they'll be allergic to quail eggs? Nanya, absolutely not, but it's something you could test at a doctor's office. Batman does this on other channels too, says Phoebe. Yeah, I got a thing. Yep. It does make good fertilizer if it's composted. Yep, Arkhaven does have a website with some information on it. I think it's arkhaven.org. And it was a Christian pastor who first had the vision for that, who first had the dream of that. And he contacted my husband and they talked, but we're Torah keepers, so we didn't really mesh. But someone came, heard his vision, supported it, and that man has a lot of skill with just building and land and all that. She will be raptured in June to escape the apocalypse. What's your opinion on the rapture? What happened to your vax genocide prediction? I didn't predict a vax genocide, but I said, keep your eye on everything that's happening because it's new and different. Okay, rapture is not in the Bible. Do a Bible word search. The word rapture is nowhere in there. It is a misunderstanding of some verses in, I think it's 1 Thessalonians 12 or something, and they get the timeline all wrong because they just don't want to have to think they're going to go through hard times. The rapture mentioned in 1 Thessalonians is after the last trump, which is at the end of the whole tribulation period. It's not at the beginning. So that's what I think about a rapture. The Bible has some tales in it where Jesus is telling his guys stories and then they get an interpretation. And the one about the wheat and the tares is directly related to that. And in the wheat and tares story, the evil ones are taken first. The angels reap the harvest, and the first ones they take are the evil ones. So you don't want to be in the first reaping. So there you have it. Can you keep chickens in a basement? Nicole, you could, but you should have a light on them. It's better for them. They need 14 hours of sunlight to lay an egg. So it would probably be better for you to have, I can't even tell you an animal that would be great in a basement. If you're a tour keeper, you couldn't have rabbits because they might do all right. Store food in your basement. All right. You guys, I'm going to have to go just because it's getting so cold. My fingers are getting numb. Yeah, you have to incubate eggs. I thought so. Okay. I agree with you on point with rapture. Thank you. Do you believe in the Trinity, though? The Trinity is another concept that was introduced by the church. Now, I'm not saying there aren't three entities, but I'm saying that word Trinity is nowhere in the word either. And I think it's Deuteronomy 6:4. Pretty sure it's Deuteronomy 6:4. Says Yahweh, I am one. So the Trinity is not really a Bible thing. It's a church thing. Chickens need air. Ventilation is important too. My handle isn't a dig at you. I didn't think it was. I just, there was someone on here with a kill your baby thing too. And I was like, I don't know if I'm down with the channel name, but I don't know you're your person. You're probably an awesome person. And I get it. Thank you, Sister Kate. Get warm and have a lovely day. Yep, I got to go, you guys. My hands are numb. Thank you for showing up, y'all. Totally appreciate it. Sorry that I don't give a lot of warning for these live streams, but it's inspiration. It's more ideas and stuff. And keep your eyes on Fink and Biden. They are two witnesses to hard times coming, and it just makes me really, really suspicious. All right, y'all. Bless you. Shalom. Thank you. There we go. All right.